Good morning. Today we have discussed arrays in C language. What is array? Array is a kind of data structure that can be stored a fixed size sequential collection of elements of the same type. An array is used to store a collection of data, but it is often more useful to think of an array as a collection of variables of the same type. General array is the same group of data elements or same name under different elements. An array is used to store a collection of data, but it also often more useful to think of an array as a collection of variables of the same type. Instead of declaring a individual variables such as a number 0, number 1, number 2, number 3 and so on, and number 99, you declare one array variable such as a number and use number 0, numbers 1 and numbers 99 to represent individual variables as a specific element in an array accessed by an index number. An array consists of contiguous memory locations, the lowest address of corresponding to the first element and the highest address to the last element. Once again, the index number started from 0 to n-1, where n is the maximum elements in the array. Instead of declaring individual variables such as a number 0, number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, etc. and number 99. Here 99 means that the total elements is the 100. Then 0 is the starting element. You declare one array variable such as a number and use the numbers 0 to number 0 in bracket, square bracket, number square bracket 0, number square bracket 1 and so on, number square bracket 99. These are in a square bracket represent as a index number. All arrays consist of a contiguous memory locations. The lowest address corresponded to the first element and the highest address to the last element. What is the first element? Numbers of 0 in bracket, numbers of 1 in square bracket 1, numbers of 2, numbers of 3, numbers of 4 up to n elements. First element is the 0 and the second element is the number 1 and the third element is the number 2 and fourth element is the number 5. Arrays can be starting elements is the 0 index number, then go to the last element. Last element is the fixed, that is in case on that maximum number is the 1, maximum number n-1. We normally you can use normal variables v1, v2, v3, etc. when we have small number of objects. But if you want to store a large number of instances, it becomes difficult to manage them with normal variables. The idea of array is to represent many instances in a one variables. An array in C or C++ both are same. Is a collection of items stored at a contiguous memory location, and elements can accessed by randomly using indices of an array. They are used to store similar type of elements in the data type must be the same for all elements. You know that same name under the different elements. They can be used to store a collection of primitive data types, such as in case of that elements to be as integer, it may be integer, character, float, double, etc. of any particular type. To add it An array in C, C++ can store derived data types such as the structure, pointers, etc. You can see the diagram. You can given this some square brackets. For example, you can see the previous one: 40, 55, 63, 17, 22, 68, 89, 97, 89. Etc. You have some numbers. The index numbers also is known as the array indices. The index number also known as a indices. The 0 is array length is a maximum 9. First index is 0. Last index is 8. If in case of total element is 9. If array element is a 9, array length total element is a 9. Then index numbers from the first index number is 0 and the last index number is 1. In individual or single numbers declaration is very easy. In case of you can store in maximum numbers, and that one it is difficult to store array concepts. For that we are going a array declaration. Array declaration. Array declaration. See, you can see the array declaration into A of 3. Here integer is the data type A of 3, that is in square bracket into A of 3, that is integer data type A in square bracket 3 ended with. Then you have different elements from is there. From index number, in how many numbers he has is the 3 numbers. The index from 0, 1, 2. You can give the some elements. Then array declaration in A of 3, you can define that elements. A of 3 equal to, you can declare that initialization of arrays. 1 in curly braces, open braces, 1, 2, 3, curly braces closed and with semicolon. Into A of 3 is equal to 1, 1, 1. That elements to be stored in this way. Into A of 3 is equal to null. In this bracket is the 0 elements, and that means we can give the 0, 0, 0. Into A of 3 is equal to 0. You can give that elements 0, 0, 0. Into A of 3 equal to 1. 1, 0, 0, 0. Into A of 3 is equal to 0 to 1 is equal to 3. Curly braces closed, and that way you can elements to be initialized and declared. Into star A, into star A, into star A, into star A. In this way you can, there are various ways in which we can declare an array. It can be done by specifying its type of size and initialization both. We have some advantages of an array. Advantages of array. Advantages of arrays in random access of elements using array index. Use of less lines of code as it creates a single array of multiple elements. Easy access to all elements. Travels through the array becomes easy using a single loop. Sorting becomes easy as it can be accomplished by writing less line of codes. These are some advantages. What are the advantages? Random access of elements using index numbers. Use of less line of code as it increases single array of multiple elements. In that one you have defined a number of elements. You don't go for a different lines. Here only you can for that you are declare an A into A of 10, that you have 10 elements. Within a single line you can give the 10 elements declaration. Easy access to all elements. Once you define that elements all belongs to same. Traversing the array becomes easy using a single loop. Strong becomes easy at its access accomplished by elements. Similarly, we have some disadvantages of arrays. What are the disadvantages? What are some disadvantages? Disadvantages of arrays. Allows a fixed number of elements to be entered which is declared at the time of declaration. Unlike a linked list, an array in C is not dynamic. Allows a fixed number of elements to be entered which is declared at the time of declaration. Here we can declare an array in a fixed number of elements to be entered which decided at the time of declaration. If you once declare the elements to be, there is no chance to give any additional numbers to that arrays. Insertion of deletion of elements can be costly since the elements are needed to be managed in accordance with the new memory location. Here what is the disadvantage? Another disadvantage is the insertion and deletion operation is very costly. Since the elements are needed to be managed in accordance with the new memory allocation. Already you can define that elements to be insertion and deletion is very difficult to do that operation. Why it is dynamic memory allocation, new memory allocation. Okay, we have some similarly some facts of arrays in C++. We have some facts. When array elements are accessed by using an integer index, array index starts with 0 and goes till the size of array -1. Generally, you have that elements. You have elements to be from 0 to n-1 elements. What are the n-1? N is the maximum number. Index number started from 0 to 9. Then on that one you can multiplication is going to be, in case elements to be manipulation. For example, you have declared an arrays. The declaration as to be part of arrays. You can see that diagram of array declaration. Some arrays in C. Array variable. The arrow mark indicates array variable. ARR is the array variable name. Here that in square bracket 0 index of that elements to be accessed. Some 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up to have index is the to be accessed. That means first elements to be it's taken. And that way you have declared some arrays and that variables. Declaring of arrays. To declare an array in C program, specify the type of elements and the number of elements required by an array as follows. Type array name in bracket array size. That is for example you have int array name. You can int a. Int is type means that is the data type. Array a is the array name and size of 10. That is this is called a single dimensional array. The array size must be an integer constant greater than 0. And the type can be a valid C data type. For example, to declare 10 elements, array called balance of type double. You can use any statements on that one particularly. You can depend upon that programmer, so you can use the some elements. In case of you have initialization of arrays, you can initialize an array in C either one by one or using single statement as follows. We can give any elements on that one. Double balance 5 in square bracket and 5 equal to curly open braces started 1000 rupees 1000.0 comma 2.0 3.4 comma 7.0 comma 50.0 curly braces code. The number of values between braces, that means that the curly braces cannot be larger than the number of elements that we declare for the array between square brackets, such as if you omit the size of array, an array just big enough to hold the initialization is created. Therefore you can write your own way. In that cases we are also given the double balance within bracket square 5. Without that, in a square bracket 5 you can omit it. Double balance, so in a square bracket equal, in square bracket is empty. In case in curly braces started 1000.0 comma 2.0 comma 3.4 comma 7.0 comma 50.0, curly open braces closed, the closing braces closed. You will create exactly the same array as you did in the previous example. In the previous you can give the double is the data type, balance the array name, in a square bracket 5 that elements to be defined, this size of here. Without that size we can also give that elements. Without that the data type, you are in case of calling for index numbers, so from index numbers are here 5 0 to 4. In case on that one, index 0 is equal to first element, index 2 index 0 is the first element, index 1 is the second element, index 3 is the third element, index is the 4 is the last element. Why is the 4 is the last element? That is the total element is the 5. That means index number maximum is the n minus 1 elements. For that one is 0 to 5 means that is a 0 to 4. In case of that one, balance of 4 equal to that, what that value 50, that is a 50.0, that is the that elements. The balance 4 of 0 is equal to 50. The statement assigning the fifth element in the array with the value of 50.0. All arrays have 0 as the index of the first element. You can see that is the first element, which is also called as the base index, and the last index of an array will be total size of the array is -1. -1 means that is the n minus 1. Here total elements is the n equal to 5. That is the total elements is the 5. n minus 1 is equal to maximum size of the index is the 4. So you can give the in a pictorial diagram, here you see that one. In balance is the index number. You can see that particular boxes and 0 1 2 3 4 etc. Now you can go to the accessing of array elements. Accessing of array elements. Accessing of array elements. An element is accessed by index of the array name. This is done by placing the index of the element within the square bracket of the name of the array. For example, double salary equal to balance of 9. If the maximum size is here 9, on that one statement will take the 10 elements of the array and access the value to salary is the variable 0. The following we can give the any elements to be accessing that one. Accessing of arrays can define on some accessing of arrays in particular way. you can given any program on that elements to be given on the program, and that way you can give any program to be here. You can write some simple programming. Program for on that one you can consider as a hash include stdio.h into main function, the open braces started into n of 10 elements, that is the in comment n is an array of 10 integers into I comma j, that is two elements to be defined as I is the one integer, j is the another integer elements. Again we have consider as a comments, and that one initialize the elements of array n to 0. These all elements to be initialized to 0. On that one you are giving a for control statement. You can use the for I is equal to 0, that is I value to be initialized to 0, I less than 10, I is equal to 0 ended with semicolon, I less than 10 semicolon, I plus plus. Here I we are using a plus plus, so that is a increment operator. What are the operation is going? N of I equal to I plus 100, so the element at the location is location I to I plus 100 is the in the is given that a statement of testing elements. The output of each element is, well, for j is equal to 0, for j less than 10, j plus plus. The curly braces, that means open braces starter, printf elements within a elements printf function started within a double quotation elements of percentage d equals percentage d backslash n double quotation closed comma j comma n of j, that is element to be curly braces close, return 0. This program executed, you can give the some elements of outputs. Element 0 is equal to 1, 0 is equal to 100, element 1 of element of 0 is equal to 100, element of 1 equal to 101, element 2 of 102, element 3 of 103, element 4 of 109, 104, element 5 of 105, element 6 is equal to 106, element 7 is equal to 107, element 8 equal to 108, element 9 is equal to 109. This type of elements to be executed. These are declaring an arrays, accessing of an arrays. Arrays to be declaring in such a operation. Then we will go to the different array concepts. Then we can go arrays concept in different arrays. There are different types of arrays. You can go to the single dimensional array and multi-dimensional array. Then we are going to the arrays versus vectors. Arrays versus pointers. Arrays and pointers are two different things. You can check the previous sentence. The confusion happens because the array name indicates the address of the first element, and arrays are always passed as pointers even if you use a square brackets. Okay, this way the arrays to be given that elements. What is a vector in C++ or C? Vector or the normal or less. You need not to pass a size and an extra parameter when we declare a vector, that is vector supported dynamic size. We do not have initially specific size of vector. We can also resize a vector. Vectors have many built-in functions removing an elements. That's why we can consider that previous points in arrays. This way the elements to be pointer to and added in different elements on the this one. Then we are going to the arrays. Once I repeat to arrays. You can go with a brief points of pointers. A point is a very easy and fun to learn. Program tasks are performed more easily within the pointers, and other tasks such as the dynamic memory location cannot be performed with using pointers. So it becomes necessary to learn points to become a perfect of C program. Let's start learning them in the simple and easy steps. As we know, variable is a memory location, and every memory location has its address defined, which can be accessed using a ampersand. That is the and symbol operator, which denotes the address in memory. Consider any pointers in point way. What is the pointer? A pointer is a variable whose value is the address of another variable. That is indicate that the address of the memory location. Like any variable and constant, you may declare a pointer before using it to store any variable address. Any variable address. Then we are going to the strings. Then we are going to the topic is the strings. What is a string? What is a string? Strings are actually one-dimensional array of characters terminated by a null character. That is a 0. Strings are usually one-dimensional array of characters terminated by null character. That is a 0. Thus, a null terminated strings contains the characters that comprise the string followed by a null. The null terminated string will constant characters that comprise the string followed by a null. The following declaration of and initialization create a string consisting of the word hello. You can give any programming that you the allow. To hold the null character at the end of the array size. To hold the null characters at the end of the array. The size of the character array containing the string is more than one number of characters in the word hello. For you can define in a defining in under arrayment character greeting in a square bracket 6 equal to within a double quotation started h within a single quotation comma e in a single quotation comma L in a single quotation comma L single quotation comma O single quotation comma within a single quotation backslash 0 single quotation closed brackets and you can give the ended with a semicolon. If you follow the rule of array initialize, then you can write these statements to be in manner. For that statement is given in different parts of on that way character greeting square brackets equal to hello within a double quotation. In that one you have gone to the array variables in the syntax. Of the following these the summary presentation of the above defined string. In generally it is going on C and C++. What is the index number? In the variable given the another boxes HELLO within ended with a single quotation backslash 0. Index numbers 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Addresses are given in one address. Members address of example you can consider a address yx 23451 yx 23452 23453 23454 23455 23456. Actually, you do not place the null character at the end of the string constant. The C compiler automatically places the backslash within a single quotation 0 at the end of the string when it is initialized the array letters. Can give a simple program. You can go to the single programming on that one. You can go program dash include stdio.h int main function open braces started character greetings of 6 equal to within open braces started capital H within a single quotation closed comma capital H in a single quotation capital E small e in a single quotation comma L in a single quotation comma L in a single quotation comma 0 single quotation comma backslash 0 in single quotation closing braces is closed and ended with a semicolon. Printf greetings message colon percentages backslash n with these are within double quotation. In between of double quotation you can put the greeting message colon percentages backslash n double quotation closed comma greeting and bracket close ended with semicolon return 0. For that output we are when the code is compiled and executed it produces the what that resulting greeting message colon hello. It is given the some hello. This way the program is executed in single way. functions, then go to the function. What that functions you have in going. See some logical functions in string functions that is follows. What are the some string functions we have? strcpy s1 comma s2 ended with a semicolon. Copies string s2 into a string s1. Here the function purpose. What are the string purpose? We have string give the some purpose. str cap in bracket s1 comma s2 bracket close ended with a semicolon. str cat means that the concatenates strings. What the concatenate strings can do? Concatenate string s2 in onto the end of string s1. It is the putting a string s1 behind s2. For example, string s1 is the Ravu, s2 is the Srinivas. For the string s1 after Ravu, you can put the Srinivas. In the third one is the strlen of s1 colon. Written the length of the strings. It is giving the total length of the string. That means the how many characters included in the string. strcmp s1 comma s2 ended with colon. Return 0 if s1 and s2 are the same, less than of 0 if s1 less than s2, greater than 0 if s1 greater than s2. It is the comparison of strings. Individual characters of strings to be compared. str feature s1 comma ch colon returns a pointer to the first occurrence of the character ch in string s1. str s1 s2 returns a pointer to the first occurrence of a string s2 in string s1. String s1. This way the strings to be we can define in different strings. strcat, that means st string concatenation, and that way you can different strings to be concatenation of different elements. This way string functions to be handled. String functions to be handled. Different strings functions. String functions in C. String is the we will have compare strings, concatenate strings, copy strings one to another one, perform the various operations on string. Reading string, writing string, we have a different functionality of string functions. If string 1 less than and string 2 have these are different strchr. It is similar to the function strchr. The only difference is that it search the string in reverse order. Now you would have understand why you have the extra and r in str. We are given that strings. These are some functions available. Str copy. It's copy the string str to str in way. You can, for example, you can go to the string. Some other functions identically are string functions. strlen, find out the length of the string. What is strlen? strlen give the finds out the length of the string. strlwr, it converts a string to lowercase letters. strupr, it converts a string to uppercase letter. strcat, it appends one string at the end of another string. strncat, it appends first n characters of a string at the end of the another one. It's append strncat, it appends the first n characters of a string at the end of another. strcpy, use it for copying a string into another. strncpy, it copies of a first n characters of one string to another. strcmp, it compares two strings. strncmp, it compares first n characters of two strings. strcmpi, here the comparison is strcmpi, it compares two strings. It compares two strings without regard to case I, denotes that this function ignores a case. It means it compares the ignores of case. Here also similar to comparison, but it ignores the case section. stricmp, it compares two strings without regard to case, identical to strcmpi. This way the string to be given. Next, strncmp, it compares the first n characters of two strings. It not case sensitive. strdup, used for a duplicate string. It is finding the duplicate of string. strchr, finds out the first occurrence of a given character in a string. strchr finds out of a last occurrence of a given characters in a string. strstr finds first occurrence of a given string in another string. strset, it sets all characters of a string to a given character. strncet, it sets a first n characters of a string to a given character. strrev, it reverses a string.